Thank you very much. Good morning, Mr. Speaker, dear Igor, members of the Parliament of Moldova. I am honored to be here in the home of democracy in this great Republic of Moldova. It is a privilege to be among colleagues, among friends who share a belief in the power of Europe to meet today's challenges. Friends, I came here with one message. Moldova's place is in Europe. Our future must be together, and the European Parliament will do everything necessary to stand with you on your path to becoming a European Union member state. This must be the history that we will write together for the benefit of everyone in Europe. And I know that this is not always easy to convince everyone, which is why I am here to help answer doubts, to answer questions, to listen. We will be with you every step of the way. Yesterday, the European Commission came to pledge more funding. I know how important that is, and equally how much more will be needed, and you can count on us. But the transformational effect of EU membership is not funds alone. It is about aligning standards, it is about legislating together, it is about the Republic of Moldova's voice being heard around the table on decisions that impact all of us. It is about the guarantee of democracy, the rule of law, equality. It is about hope for the next generations. This is what Europe is all about. We are living in times of instability, of spiking energy and electricity prices, inflation, food scarcity, and creeping unemployment. And all of this is framed in the context of an illegal war on our continent, on your borders, with an autocrat weaponizing energy supplies and with propaganda and disinformation that risks driving more people to the comfort of the fringes. And yet it is often in times like this where we learn the true meaning behind European solidarity, where the power of Europe is felt the strongest. Mr. Speaker, at the opening of the 2022 autumn session of this Parliament, you spoke about the support that your country has been receiving from the European Union. And I'm here today on behalf of the European Parliament to reiterate with the utmost conviction that Europe is with you and will remain with you. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to say that the European Parliament has always stood in solidarity with Moldova. We've done this with our words, but more importantly, with our actions. Earlier this year, we were the first EU institution to call for Moldova to receive EU candidate status together with Ukraine. We did this because Moldova belongs to our European family, in our European family, because we know that Europe is about opening doors, tearing down walls, and being together. It is a way of life and of living. And here I want to be clear. The Republic of Moldova is a European state by history, by geography, by identity, by culture, and by tradition. It was Stephen the Great who won battles and helped charter the modern course of modern-day Europe. And for years, your people have demonstrated unwavering support for the European course of your country by embracing European principles and values. By granting candidate status to Moldova, we wanted to send the strongest of messages of hope and solidarity. Solidarity with all those who stand up for our shared values, who want to live in peace and in safety, in free, democratic and prosperous countries that maintain good neighbourly relations. The granting of EU candidate status is a historic opportunity for Moldova to strengthen its democracy, empower its youth, and build a modern and resilient country. Equally, it is a historic moment for Europe. It is a two-way street. We want a piece of Moldova in Europe, not only a piece of Europe in Moldova. Moldova can lead in Europe. You are already leading on gender equality, setting an example in the region with a female president, prime minister and president of the Constitutional Court. Congratulations. Now, granting EU candidate status also opens a new chapter in our relations. Relations that are already based on an ambitious association agreement and a deep and comprehensive free trade area. These will continue to enable a conducive environment for political association, legislative approximation, and economic integration, all of which are crucial elements of a future accession process. But strong relations are never one-sided. And this is why the European Parliament believes that in order to give your country a clear path towards membership, there needs to be a clarity of expectations from the start. When reforms are made, our assessments must not be delayed. And on this, I can assure you that we will not waste time. Over the past years, you have undertaken decisive steps to reform. The work that you have been doing in adopting necessary legislation to this effect, especially in the realms of justice, the fight against corruption, organized crime and electoral law reforms, is important. The basis is already there for the deeper integration of Moldova in the single market and for strengthened EU-Moldova cooperation on digitalization and telecommunications. Soon, you will enter the next phase of EU integration. And dear friends, EU accession may seem like a steep mountain to climb, but looking around me at Maia, Sandu and so many allies, I have no doubt that you will climb it quickly. The European Parliament will be there to support you. And here I am not only talking about political support. Like our commitment to building closer institutional ties based on the Memorandum of Understanding that we signed in November 2021, or on the basis of the mutually agreed roadmap to strengthen democracy in Moldova, or capacity and access to such building programs, which, by the way, the first joint European Parliament and Moldovan Parliament Democracy Support Seminar will take place today, or even through the Jean Monnet Dialogue for Peace and Democracy, by which the European Parliament can help this House strengthen inter-party dialogue and build consensus. One of our key MEPs, where is he, Dragos Tudorache, being here today is a further signal of our commitment. But I am also talking about more technical, administrative, financial support and more practical support throughout the accession process, for instance, through committee-to-committee cooperation or cooperation on research. In these troubled times, we must continue to stand united in the face of those seeking to pull us apart, those spreading disinformation to bring political unrest, those who threaten and blackmail using energy as leverage. Against this backdrop, let me recall what President Sandu recently said. I want everyone to know that Moldova chooses to be free and continue on its European path, no matter what the circumstances. On behalf of the European Parliament, allow me to express my admiration for your leadership and this House's unwavering determination to charter on the path of European integration. Rest assured that here too, the European Union will continue to help Moldova to diversify its energy supplies to prevent further destabilization. Our member states have already facilitated new interconnections. In particular, Romania has such strong leadership on this. Also, the trio of France, Germany and Romania have done so much in the framework of the Moldova support platform. Your country is now also importing natural gas from Slovakia. And this, dear members, is full European solidarity across all boards on full display. We understand that rising inflation and higher bills make it difficult for people, and we are determined to address this. The European Parliament adopted temporary liberalisation measures for certain Moldovan agricultural products. And just yesterday, we approved legislation facilitating freight transport by road in the European Union for Moldovan companies and drivers. This will help stimulate Moldovan trade exports at this very difficult time. Perhaps more crucially, however, already in April of this year, the European Parliament approved a €150 million assistance package to support Moldova. And here, the European Parliament is ready to do more and ready to do it fast, as we have done in the past. I also want to acknowledge the courage that it took for you to apply for European Union accession. Moldova's security remains a priority. International law and its principles of sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity are not negotiable for us. You are the first buffer between the war and the European Union, and we must acknowledge this. Sowing doubt, instability, and fear accompany the Kremlin's conventional warfare apparatus. This coordinated disinformation campaign is spreading, and we have to do more, much more, to counter the toxic rewriting of history and to remind our citizens that Europe does have the power to improve lives, to change generations. We must work to convince. This is why we have established the European Union Support Hub for Internal Security and Border Management here in Chisinau to help address security implications of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Why €40 million under the European Peace Facility have been allocated to strengthen the capacity of Moldovan armed forces. Ladies and gentlemen, at the start of the war, when Ukrainian children, women and men were forced to flee from their homes, it was your country, Moldova, that opened its borders. It was Moldovan people who opened up their homes and their hearts to 80,000 Ukrainian people seeking refuge and supported 600,000 Ukrainians transiting your country in what was effectively the highest number of refugee intake per capita. It was also your country and your people who sent truckloads of humanitarian aid to Ukraine, that operationalized solidarity lanes for grain and fuel transit to feed hungry families and heat cold homes. You did this because you believe in the principle of European solidarity. And likewise, the European Union will continue to demonstrate the power of Europe by doing whatever it can to assist your great nation in forging a path towards a brighter, more prosperous, shared future. Because, dear friends, this is what Europe is all about. It is about values and principles. It is about freedom and democracy. It is about solidarity and cooperation. It is about hope in a better world for us all. This is where our strength lies. This lies in the power of Europe. Thank you.